In this video today, I'm going to reveal my 3-step process so that you can take better images in manual mode. What is happening, people? My name is Gorav and I'm a travel and a wedding photographer based in Birmingham, England. First of all, it's important to know why you want to shoot in manual mode, and that's quite simple. It's so that you have more control over your final result. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm just going to go back to one of my previous images for this video. If I had shot this image in program mode, which is auto or shutter priority or aperture priority, I can tell you that the camera would have exposed for this gentleman's face. That's not what I was aiming for in this particular image. What I really wanted was to not blow the highlights, which is in this area here. However, the camera doesn't know that. The camera doesn't know that you want to retain the detail in the highlights automatically. Only you know that. And the reason why I wanted to retain detail in the highlights is so I can improve the overall image in post-processing like this. There's no way for the camera to know what you are going to do later in editing. So what I'm trying to say is, with manual controls, I get to prioritize what's more important to me in that particular image, as opposed to the camera deciding for me. The camera will do its best with what it's programmed to do and run hundreds of calculations a second to capture a perfectly exposed image, but that's not something I want. Like in this image, I don't want this image perfectly exposed. I just want it exposed for the highlights in that particular area so I can improve it later in editing. Now let me just give you a more realistic example. If I was shooting a wedding and the bride was wearing a white dress, you want to expose for the dress because you don't want to lose detail in the dress. If I had my camera set to auto, it might not consider that. It might not think, oh, there's a bride. I want to make sure the detail in the dress for the bride is absolutely perfect. It will take the whole scene into consideration. There are other methods you can use like spot metering, but we'll go into that in a later video. Now we know shooting in manual gives you more control over your final image. Let's just discuss the how. How do we do this? Now you don't need to remember exact numbers or anything just to try and shoot in manual mode. That's what a lot of people assume, and that's not correct. That will gradually happen over time. What you do need to do is familiarize yourself with the basics, and I've got videos on that on aperture, ISO and shutter speed. They're all under 3 minutes each, so you can practically learn all 3 of them in under 10 minutes. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check them out. To learn the 3-step process, you need to figure out what's important to you most in an image that you're trying to capture. For example, let's just take this image of people running down the hill. I might want to select a higher shutter speed because I want to freeze their motion while they're running down the hill, and I also want to select a higher f-stop. It's because I want most of the people, even at the back, in focus for this particular image. The ISO isn't really going to be a problem because I'm shooting this outside and I have plenty of light, so I can get away with like not increasing my ISO. Those are the 3 things you want to play around with: shutter speed, aperture and ISO. For this particular image, I would start with my shutter speed because I want to freeze the motion, and the second thing I would adjust is f-stop to make sure everybody is in focus, and the third thing I would think about is ISO. So that's step number 1. Figure out what's most important to you in that particular image that you're trying to shoot and adjust the settings accordingly. Step number 2, very easy, take the shot. And step number 3 is review your image. Now you might want to do all these 3 things before anything actually happens. So I would generally take test shots like this before the bride walks in, for example, just to make sure I'm happy with the overall exposure. That's why reviewing the image is very, very important. And then what you want to do is repeat step number 1 again. That's it. That's the 3-step process. All your images will look how you want them to, as opposed to the camera deciding how they should look. So that's the why and how. Let's just discuss a little bit about the when, because that's important too. You want to practice manual mode to begin with for things that you like doing. For example, going out taking photographs of your city or street photography, something that you're not under pressure with. I can assure you, you don't want to shoot a wedding in manual mode for the first time. It's not really a good idea. It's probably why a lot of people give up and don't shoot manual mode, because they think it's too much pressure, it's too much hard work. This is not something that you're going to master just by watching this video. You do need to get out your comfort zone and practice this. The sooner you do this, the longer you will benefit from this information, I can promise you that. So that's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. If you know anyone else that would benefit from this type of knowledge, do go ahead and share this video with them. I would really appreciate that. Thanks again for sticking around, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.